Are your ulcerative colitis symptoms proving difficult to manage? Tremfya guselkumab can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. At 1 year, many patients taking Tremfya achieved clinical remission, and some patients also achieved endoscopic remission. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor if Tremfya can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
This episode is brought to you by Prime Video. In the small town of Holland, Michigan, nothing is ever what it seems. Behind the tulip festivals and pretty houses lay dark secrets that threaten to tear a marriage apart. Nicole Kidman stars in this darkly twisted thriller about a wife and mother whose quest to uncover her husband's secrets may get her more than she bargained for. Holland, streaming on Prime Video, March 27th.
All episodes of A Trial by Podcast are for informational and entertainment purposes only. Much to their parents' dismay, neither host is a lawyer, journalist, or investigator. Just two people with microphones and Wi-Fi. All actions discussed are alleged, and all parties are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. For the full legal mumbo-jumbo, check the show notes.
I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Emily.
And this is A Trial by Podcast. Okay, so welcome back to the pod, everybody. Emily and I started this episode already. We went on a 10-minute
we got a solid tangent, which I'm excited about it. We haven't had a good tangent in a while.
I know.
So we're going to quickly move that to the end of the episode. We were just
vibing, but it was long, so we're going to cut it out and put it at the end of the episode because I know most people just want to get to the story. So that way,
it'll be there for you if you want.
Yeah, and if you don't want to listen to it, no pressure. Just listen to the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always think about it too. I know some people enjoy the chit chat, some people don't. But also there are people like if they've never listened to the pod and it just starts episode 1, like they don't know us, they don't care about us, and
they're overwhelmed.
I don't want them to turn it off. So I'm gonna try. And we'll keep any long tangents at the end.
We got to try to make everybody happy. So yeah. The tangent lovers, your time will come at the end of the episode.
Heck yeah, dude. We save the best for last because the tangent is good vibes. And usually the majority of our stories are bad vibes overall. Sometimes a little bit of sunshine in between. But yeah. So with that being said, the tangent was all about merch. So shop our merch, link in the show notes, which is basically just the episode description wherever you're listening. Check it out. We're hoping to have more merch coming in the next few months or so. That's what our tangent was about. But you'll check that out later. And with that being said, let's just get right into it today. So we are going to talk about the mysterious disappearance of Lars Mittank.
I love the name.
Yes, Lars is a good name. It gives old money. So Lars Mittank, and he's German. I do not feel 100% confident about the inflection of his last name that I'm doing it properly, but I think I'm close enough.
Lars Mittank. I don't think that was German.
I
don't know.
Pirate?
I don't know. That was my best.
It's okay. I like that you went for it. You went full throttle for it.
Mittank.
So,
I tried my best.
Lars Mittank. I guess before I give you I'm going to give you a quick overview because this is a crazy story. So I'm going to hook you right from the get-go. But before I do that, I do want to note that there is going to be brief discussion of suicide in this episode. It is just one of the theories. I think it should be relatively brief. I don't think we're going to talk about it too much because there's not a ton of evidence to support that theory. But I just wanted to bring that up ahead of time. If you're in the U.S. and you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, please call, chat, text 988. If you're not in the U.S. and you are also struggling, please give it a Google. I don't know what it is. I can't do every single country, but I know that there is help available to you, and we plead that you take it. In 2014, 28-year-old German national Lars Mittank embarked on his first ever international trip, a long-awaited vacation to Bulgaria with friends. Their plans were simple. They were going to soak up the sun on the country's stunning beaches, play football, and party the night away in bustling nightclubs. And for most of the trip, everything went as expected. But in the final days, things took a dark and unexpected turn. The night before he was set to fly home to Germany, Lars called his mother in the middle of the night. When she picked up, his voice was barely above a whisper. He sounded frantic, even fearful. He told her that he was being followed and that people were after him. They wanted to rob him or worse, kill him. So desperately, he begged her to cancel his credit cards just in case he was targeted. And then, before she could get more answers or ask another question, Lars abruptly hung up the call, telling her that he needed to hide. Now, the next day, he was set to fly back home to Germany, and he arrived at the Varna Airport for his flight home. But before even reaching his gate, something must have spooked him because surveillance cameras captured him suddenly abandoning his luggage and sprinting out of the airport. He ran across the parking lot, scaled an 8-foot-high barbed-wired fence, and disappeared into a nearby forest. And that was the last time that anyone ever saw Lars.
What?
To this day, his fate remains a mystery. We don't know if he's dead. We don't know if he's alive. We have no idea what happened. Lars Mittank was born on February 9th, 1986 in Berlin, Germany. He grew up in the town of Itzehoe, and I looked it up. I'm not joking. We're not going to get through this episode, dude. It's spelled Itzehoe, and I literally looked it up.
Itzehoe.
I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, give me the phonetic spelling, and it said Itzehoe. And I didn't say it out loud. I didn't catch it until I just said it right then. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm just immature.
No, I feel like I'm probably saying it wrong, and someone's going to be like, are you kidding me? But I did look it up. And maybe I'm misremembering, but it looks like it's Zeho. I don't know.
It's Zeho.
So he grew up in that town in northern Germany, and he lived a fairly ordinary life. Described by those who knew him as a normal person, Lars had a steady job working at a local power plant, and he maintained close relationships with family and friends. He was a fan of football or soccer, wherever you are, whatever you want to call it, the one where you're kicking the ball. He loyally supported his hometown team, and he enjoyed typical hobbies like hunting and fishing. Lars was known to be responsible and caring. For instance, after his father suffered a stroke, Lars frequently helped his parents around their home, just with your daily chores, doing the dishes, cleaning up, all of those sorts of things. Now, by all accounts, nothing in his past suggested any abnormal behavior or mental health issues, which obviously you can tell by the little summary I gave in the beginning is going to become a topic of discussion here. Mm-hmm. But his entire life, he's 28 years old when this happens, no signs of mental health issues. On top of this, he was also just well-liked. He had a girlfriend. He had a tight-knit friend group. He was very, adept socially. So we can see from his background there's not a lot of red flags popping up. He seems to just be a normal person living a normal life. So in June of 2014, 28-year-old Lars plans this summer holiday abroad with some of his childhood friends. It would be his first trip outside of Germany, and the destination was the Golden Sands Resort on Bulgaria's Black Sea coast. This resort area near the city of Varna is a popular seaside spot known for like vacationers, for the beaches, for the nightlife. It's a touristy spot. And the group of the 5 former schoolmates arrived in Varna on June 30th, 2014. And they were just excited. It was his first time going outside of Germany. It was their first big trip together. And they're like, we're just going to have a week of fun and relaxation and just laying in the sun, which sounds so amazing to me right now.
Yeah, I need some R&R in my life.
Yeah. Weekends. Oh my God. Why is my brain doing this to me today? Winters in Cleveland get really cold and really dreary.
Depressing.
Yeah. A Golden Sands Resort sounds amazing right now.
Yeah. And a black sand beach. Is that what he said, or just
it's the Black Sea coast?
Black Sea coast.
So I don't think it's black sand. I think it's normal sand. But that would be nice too. Black sand beach.
Yeah.
I'm not picky
Either
about
one.
my beaches. Now, according to his friends, the vacation started off normally and pleasantly. They spent their days swimming in the pool, in the sea, playing football on the beach, and enjoying the local clubs at night. Lars appeared to be in very good spirits for most of the trip. He was relaxed. He was in a good mood, according to his friend, Paul Roman. Now, another friend did notice that Lars wasn't eating very much during the vacation. He was eating a lot of small portions like soup or a really small salad. But he also was a vegetarian, so maybe it's possible that it was hard for him to find options there.
Oh, that sucks.
I don't know, but it stood out to his friend as being odd for Lars. But aside from this minor detail, nothing seemed to be weird about his behavior in the days leading up to the end of their holiday. Friends later emphasized that Lars was acting like his usual self. He was friendly, he was calm, he was happy, right until the final 24 hours before his disappearance. Now, on July 6th, 2014, which was the second to last night of the trip, did that make sense? The second to last night. Mm-hmm. Lars and his friends went out to a local bar in Varna to enjoy their final evening together. At some point during the night, Lars ended up getting into an argument over football with a group of other German tourists at the bar. And Lars was a fan of the Werder. It's probably Werder because it's a W, but I think in German aren't W's V's.
Yeah, I think so.
We might be wrong about that, but I don't know. A Werder or Werder Bremen fan. And he had like a friendly rivalry kind of going with the other group who supported the FC Bayern Munich. And it started as like this friendly rivalry. But over time, the argument escalated, and it ended up becoming a physical altercation outside of the bar. Lars became separated from his friends, and he vanished for the rest of the night. But like this was a fist fight. Like he got into a fight. Like they're punching each other in the face.
That's crazy. Over football?
Over football. Yeah. I mean, it is crazy. It is crazy, but I think it happens all the time. I think it's probably very, very common.
It isn't any less crazy.
Right. So he's separated from his friends. He gets into a bar fight, and then he's gone the rest of the night. And from what I've read, it doesn't sound like his friends realized that he had gotten in a fight until they saw him the next morning. He tells them that he got beaten up by 4 men that were hired by the Bayern Munich fans from the bar. But some people believe that like they either misheard the story or Lars was like confused because he was drinking or something, because it just kind of makes more sense that it was probably the same men from the bar who attacked him. So there's different accounts of who actually beat him up. But it all kind of goes into how weird this whole story becomes.
Yeah.
Just something to keep in mind. So he sustains some injuries, and he ends up going to a doctor. He realizes that he had an injured jaw and also a ruptured eardrum as a result of the brawl.
Ouch.
A ruptured eardrum ain't no joke.
Yeah.
So after the fight, he gets medical attention. They tell him about this ruptured eardrum, and this local doctor basically tells him, look, you probably shouldn't fly with a ruptured eardrum. Like,
can you imagine?
Right. The air pressure changes on the flight. You know, when your ears get all like...
Yeah, you're supposed to chew gum, and when you're
Have you ever had that, like, last for days after?
Oh, yeah, and it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts, and it's so uncomfortable, and, like, it's awkward when you're talking to people, and...
Well, that, and it can throw off your whole fucking, like, circadian rhythm. You know, like your balance and stuff.
Circadian rhythm is your internal clock for sleeping.
It can probably throw that off too. But like
your balance.
It does throw your balance off.
I believe you.
Your
I
ears,
believe you.
Have you never heard of like an ear infection?
But
like,
there's something... It's not something rhythm, but I know what you're talking about. There's something with your ears that affects the balance, and there is some term for it, but it's not circuit. But
sounded right when it came out.
We'll zebra, and then you can decide on that one later.
All right.
But it doesn't matter to me. But yeah, so the doctor's like, look, you shouldn't fly with this ruptured eardrum. It could worsen the damage because of the air pressure changes, and also it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
It's not going to be fun to fly with a ruptured eardrum.
Definitely not going to be able to take a little nap on that flight.
So the doctor prescribed Lars a course of the antibiotic cefprozil, which was 500 milligrams. And basically the whole point was to prevent any infection in the injured ear or jaw. So with their return flight to Germany, scheduled that same day that he's at the doctor, Lars now faced a dilemma. He was not supposed to fly, but he was supposed to fly home that night with his friends. So his friends are like, look, maybe we'll just cancel the flight and we'll stay here with you. We don't want to leave you by yourself or whatever until you recovered.
That's nice.
But Lars insisted that they just go home as planned without him and he would figure it out because this doctor said it might take a long time to recover.
Yeah, busted eardrum doesn't heal overnight.
Yeah, it's not going to heal in a couple of days.
No.
So he's like, I'll be fine on my own, and I'll probably just end up moving my flight to the next day, even though this doctor's saying I'm not supposed to fly.
Still not going to be ready, but maybe one day will help.
Yeah, I think he just kind of needed a day to figure out what he was going to do.
Yeah.
And he was like, I might just have to fly home, even though the doctor said not to. It's going to hurt, but... I don't know. He didn't really know what his options were.
Yeah. I mean, if I was him, to be honest, I probably would have done the same thing. I would have been like, all right, I'm just going to fly home because I'd rather fuck up my ear more and then heal it when I'm home than be like stuck somewhere.
Well, also, it's like he's 28, and he's got a job. I'm sure he can't just...
Yeah.
If it takes 2 weeks, he can't just stay there for 2 weeks. I mean, that'd be so expensive.
He was on vacation already, and this was the end of his trip. So, like, who knows if he had any money to stay.
Right. Now, reluctantly, Lars's friends departed Bulgaria on July 7th, and they did leave him behind. But again, he told them to. He's like, I'll figure it out.
That was quick.
So that same day, Lars checked out of the resort hotel that they had been staying in on the beach, and he found alternate lodging for a night. He was just looking for something cheaper. He was like, I'm in pain. I'm not enjoying myself. I don't want to stay at this expensive hotel. Mm-hmm. Because it was peak tourist season and most places were booked, he ended up at a budget hotel called the Hotel Color in Varna, which wasn't far from the airport. And his plan was to just stay there for one night and catch a flight home on July 8th after hopefully getting medical clearance from a doctor. Which again, from what I read, this doctor told him it might take a few weeks for it to heal, so... I don't know. It's possible that report was incorrect, and maybe they said, "Oh, it might just be a couple days, or it won't be fully healed, but give it 24 hours and it might be okay to fly." I don't really know exactly what this doctor told him. Now, so he's staying in this hotel. He's alone in this strange city, and he's recovering from these injuries. And at this point, this is when Lars's behavior takes a bizarre turn. He began to exhibit signs of paranoia and fear while at Hotel Color. Around midnight, Lars called his mother back in Germany from the hotel room, and this is when he's whispering into the phone. And his mother says it sounds like he was afraid of being overheard because he's whispering, like he thinks someone is going to hear what he's saying. But he's calling from his hotel room.
Yeah.
So how is that, like, why would you think someone's going to hear you, like, through the walls or through the door or what? Mm-hmm. And he's like... hushed about it. He's urgent, and he tells his mother that people are trying to either kill him or rob him. And again, he's like, you need to cancel my credit cards immediately. And his mom's like taken aback. She's like, what the hell is going on?
Take a step back, chill the fuck out, and tell me what's going on.
Well, she's freaked out. She's like, why are you so scared right now?
Yeah.
And she later said, quote, I thought, God, my son is in danger. I could hear his heart pounding over the phone, end quote. Ooh. Lars told her he was attempting to find a hiding place because he felt like he was being pursued. And then he abruptly just hangs up on her. And so she can't get any answers out of him.
That's so crazy.
And it's just weird because...
If that was my kid, I would be like, what the fuck? I would be panicked.
It's weird because, again, his friends had just left earlier that day.
Yeah. And
he was going to leave the next day. And his friends were like, we didn't really notice anything weird going on except he got into this fight. Mm-hmm. He was injured. But, like, they didn't see any of this weird paranoid behavior.
Well, and don't you think that he would have asked them to stay if he was, like, felt like people were following him?
Exactly. Or he'd be like, I don't care about my ear. Like, get me on the flight.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just odd. Like, what changed or what happened? Or was it all about this fight? Like, who does he think is after him? So his strange behavior continued through the night. Hotel security camera footage reviewed later showed Lars pacing anxiously in the hotel halls, peering out windows, hiding in the elevator, and generally acting extremely nervous and agitated.
Support comes from ServiceNow. We're for people doing the creative work they actually want to do. That's why this ad was written and read by a real person and not AI. You know what people don't want to do? Boring, busy work. Now with AI agents built into the ServiceNow platform, you can automate millions of repetitive tasks in every corner of your business, IT, HR, and more, so your people can focus on the work that they want to do. That's putting AI agents to work for people. It's your turn. Visit servicenow.com.
You've maxed out your 401k. You're contributing to an IRA and making some other investments. You're ahead of the game and doing well. But where do you go from here? The same old story can only get you so far. If you want a new take from a new type of financial professional, we invite you to get a fresh perspective beside an agent with the backing of New York Life. Insurance, investments, retirement, and more. Visit NYL.com to learn more. Investments are offered through registered representatives of NYLife Securities, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC, a New York Life company.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Zysol is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Zysol keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all. Take Zysol. At night.
So, as I was researching this just made me think of Elisa Lam. Have you heard that?
Yes.
That's you've seen
crazy.
Those videos?
Yes.
It's similar.
Yeah, that's
when
good.
you see the videos of him, it's very similar.
Ooh, that creeps me out.
And it's weird that it's like both. I mean, I guess it's not that weird that it's both in hotels because, like, if you're in an apartment building, maybe they don't have that type of security footage. Like, you wouldn't have it. But it's similar. Like, they both look like they're, like, looking for someone or hiding and, like just going up and down endlessly. And it's like, what are you doing, you know? So sometime around 1 a.m. on July 8th, Lars left the hotel suddenly, walking out into the darkness. About an hour later, he returned to the hotel. But no one knows where he went or what he did during that hour outside. 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., what are you doing outside?
Yeah, for somebody that was, like, so paranoid about somebody, like, following you or going after you, why would you go out that late?
Yeah, I thought that it's odd. And to this day, it's a mystery. They only know he left because of the security camera footage. So shortly after dawn on July 8th, Lars placed another brief call to his mother. He was still paranoid. He was telling her that the people that he feared were getting closer. Like, that's the term. He said they're getting closer, which...
This is giving me, like, goosebumps.
Isn't
like, it's kind of creeping me out. Yeah.
But again, the call was cut short, possibly due to his phone battery dying, because he had mentioned to her on the phone that his battery was low.
Okay.
And that was the last phone conversation that Sandra, his mother, ever had with her son. That was the last time she ever talked to him. And, yeah, you can imagine that is unsettling.
Very, yeah.
To say the least. Now, despite his frantic behavior overnight, Lars is still intended to fly home that day. So he took a taxi to Varna Airport in the morning, and he texted his mother to say that he had arrived at the terminal. So at this point, his phone's back on if it had died, or maybe he just hung up on her. We don't know. But he's like, hey, Mom, I'm at the terminal. Before he could board a plane, however, airport protocol required that he get medical clearance due to his recent ear injury. This is weird to me. How would they know that he had an ear injury?
Yeah.
I think maybe here's the thing is he ends up going to the airport's medical office to see an on-duty doctor, which was Dr. Costa Kostov. Dope name. But I don't know if this was the same doctor that he saw the day before. So I'm thinking...
So, like, maybe he just went to be like, hey, like, I rescheduled my flight from yesterday. Like, is it cool? Is it safe if I board this flight today? Like,
but
he's
it's
just
also
double-checking?
Like, unless... That's the only way I could figure out, like, how would the air... Because they said it was airport protocol that said he had to get medical clearance. It's like, how would the airport know that you had an injury to your ear? Like... How would they know that? Unless, I guess, maybe if it's the airport doctor, but also, I don't know. That whole thing just seemed weird. Maybe it's misreported or like mistranslated from German or something. But I just thought that was super odd. But he does go to this doctor, again, Dr. Costa Kostov, which is just epic name. Love that. And he enters the small examination room, and it's about mid-morning at this time. And he's got all of his luggage with him, all of his stuff. And he sits down for what should have been just like a quick routine checkup on the injury. Now, Dr. Kostov later described Lars's demeanor in the office as highly nervous and erratic. Lars appeared very paranoid. He questioned the doctor about the medication he'd been taking, expressing distrust or anxiety about the antibiotic. And at one point earlier in the morning, he had actually texted his mom asking what the medication was, like the name of the medication. And it was weird because he just said, what is Cephero? And he spelled it wrong, but he's like, what is this medication? But didn't say anything about that being what he was prescribed. Maybe he had mentioned it on the phone to her. But it was almost like, it almost indicated that he was confused what the prescription was for, or like concerned about it for some reason.
Yeah, like I'm feeling weird and this is the only new thing. So like, what is this?
Right. And then he brings it up, to the doctor as well. Like he seemed very distrustful of this medication he had been prescribed. So Dr. Kostov examined Lars's ear and he found that medically he was fit to fly. Again, I don't know what needed to be seen.
Yeah, the qualifications.
Yeah, I don't know. But he says that the eardrum had healed enough and there was no physical issue preventing him from boarding a plane. That seems, it's been like, I don't know, a day.
24 hours?
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess maybe stuff, I don't know. So Lars's behavior, it's odd. And throughout this appointment, it only intensifies. Even though the doctor's like, you're good, you can go home.
Yeah, like you're fine.
And you would think, this would be a relief to him if he thinks people are after him. It's like, good, get me on a plane home and get me out of here. So as the checkup was wrapping up, a construction worker just like happened to enter the doctor's office because the airport was undergoing renovations. So the workers were just kind of working nearby. And he comes into the doctor's office. I don't know why he was in there, and I don't even think the doctor knew, because before anyone could really do anything, Lars freaked out about this guy coming in. Like the presence of this unknown man just triggered a panic in him. He began trembling and muttering, and he suddenly shouted, quote, "I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here," end quote. Which literally makes my whole body just like my nerves ignite.
Up. Yeah, you're like, oh, what?
Because it's just a morning at the airport. It's mid-morning at the airport.
Calm down, dude. Like, what's going on, Lars? Like, why are you so upset, dude?
I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here. And just knowing because I've told you, we don't know what happened to him. And like his poor mother.
Yeah.
Hearing that's what he was saying, I have to get out of here. I don't want to die here. I can't even imagine that like feeling. Like that must be so heartbreaking and just haunting to hear. That it haunts me to hear it. I can't imagine how like his friends and his mom and everybody feel, because you don't ever want to hear someone that you love like be that
terrified.
scared.
Yeah,
he sounds terrified.
Yeah,
And it's not like he's in a random doctor's office in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night. It's like he's at the airport.
Yeah,
like, this
they
is
got
pretty
TSA
legit
there, buddy. Like,
yeah.
Well, do they? I don't know.
And there's people around everywhere, and it's like, but it almost sounds like that's what was freaking him out. Was like
all the people.
Yeah, I don't know. So he basically shouts this at the doctor and the unknown man, or not he was a construction worker, but unknown to Lars.
Yeah.
He shouts this at them, and before the doctor or anyone else could intervene, Lars just got up and ran out of the exam room, and he sprinted out of the exam room straight out of the airport terminal. And he just left all of his luggage and his personal belongings in the doctor's office, including his wallet, his passport, and his phone.
Oh, that's not good, dude.
So security cameras in the airport recorded Lars' final known movements as he ran. The CCTV footage shows him running out of the office, out of the terminal's main entrance. He's wearing a yellow t-shirt and dark shorts. He has no bags with him, and he's just dashing through the departure hall, out of the building, crossing the airport parking lot at a sprint. He's sprinting. He does eventually kind of slow down. He approaches this perimeter fence, which again, this is like a fence that's kind of to guard the airport so no one can get onto the tarmac or anything like that. So it's 8 feet tall and it has barbed wire. It's not an easy fence to just climb and get over. Like you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
But he does. He climbs over.
He said, fuck my busted eardrum.
He climbs over, he goes over the barbed wire, and he jumps down on the other side. And on the other side of the fence, it's basically just a large open field area, and then eventually at the end of it, there's a wooded area. He just goes through that field.
He just kept on running.
And into those woods.
That's so creepy.
Airport security cameras. They lost sight of Lars after he disappeared into the meadow. So, like, into the field area, you can no longer see, like, the woods from what I've seen. So, he's going towards the wooded area, but you don't actually see on the security footage him going into the woods.
Okay.
However, witnesses reported him running, quote, off into the blank, end quote, towards an area of forested land near Varna Airport runways. Now, these were the last confirmed sightings of Lars. And despite an immediate search of the area by airport security and later by police, there was no trace of Lars beyond that point. He seemed to have vanished into thin air on that morning in 2014. And he has never been seen or heard from again.
This is like Ted Bundy when he escaped prison in Colorado and spent there, like, it was like a crazy amount of time in the woods.
But here's the thing. He just screamed in the airport, I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here, and sprinted out. Like, airport security was looking for him.
Well, yeah.
Because they're like, what is going on? Did he have a bomb, or did somebody, he knows
that
someone
and all
has
of
a
his
bomb?
unattended luggage that he left in there.
So they're looking for him immediately. Immediately. They call police, and they are searching those woods, like, pretty fucking right then. Like, it's not like they were searching the woods 10 hours later.
Yeah.
Like, there's search, of course, I'm sure airport security can't search those woods, like, vastly. But, like, they get police there. Everybody's there looking for him. And they don't find him. And more searches occur. They search those woods thoroughly later on, too. Like, there's that initial searches those days. But then when he never turns up, they keep searching.
They're like, all right, well,
they
let's
never
double down.
find him. They never find any of his clothes or anything. No sign of him in those woods. And the other thing that I've read about this wooded area is that it's like a popular hiking area. And it's not that
So
big.
there's people there all the time.
So it's not like, I picture it kind of like the metro parks in Cleveland. Like,
like
you
it's a
can search
populated
all
area.
of it. Like, you can search all of it. It's not like someone can just go into the woods and, like, die or, like, hide like Ted Bundy was. And they're never going to be found. Like, you would find him. That's what people say online. I obviously have never been there. And I don't think it's impossible, but from people who have been there and, like, spend time there, they say there's always tons of people there. It's very popular for hiking and just, like, walking outdoors, things like that. They're like, we can't imagine a scenario where he could die in those woods and then just never be found. And again, this is a warm place. It's not like the elements are, it's not like some crazy elements where it's like super cold or storming or whatever. Like this is just kind of mild weather that they've got going on.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
So, weird, and some would say
weird.
Baffling.
Yeah.
Baffling.
Did they ever talk to that construction guy? Like,
yeah, he's like, I don't know who the fuck this guy. He just I walked in and he's like, I don't want to die, and ran.
Be the construction guy.
Yeah, I don't think this construction guy had anything to do with it.
That's crazy.
But these baffling circumstances of Lars' disappearance have given rise to numerous theories. And with Lars literally running off camera into the void, both officials and amateur sleuths have struggled to explain why he fled and what happened to him. So we're going to go over some theories. The first one is he had like some acute mental health crisis. He had a psychological breakdown, a psychotic episode. He's detached from reality. He's got extreme paranoia and irrational fear. And this is obviously supported by his behavior. He's hiding. He's whispering about people chasing him. He's in a panic in the doctor's office. He's hiding in the hotel. But it's like we have all the security footage of him being all freaked out, but you don't see like anyone following him.
There's no like reason for that. Like there's no evidence of him.
We have no
followed.
evidence of anyone being after him or like suspects of who would be after him. I guess you could point to the guys he got in a fight with.
Yeah.
But like it's not like we've seen them on the security footage in the hotel or something like that. It's like we don't know why.
But that was also
so scared.
That was also before he told all of his friends to leave and that he'd be fine staying another day.
Right. And
Weird.
And he never mentioned the whole time he's saying people are after him. He never once says, "Oh, it's these guys who beat me up."
Yeah,
at
like
least not that I've read. I mean, the only person it sounds like he was talking to about this was his mom.
Yeah.
But from what I've read, he never told her, "Oh, it's the guys that beat me up." Like. He's just saying people, and she's confused because she's like, who are these people and why would they be after you?
What are you talking about?
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We off? 30 seconds of carefree bliss. Oof, like wind in your hair carefree. Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree. Yes. Like dog slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox Carefree. He's on a roll now. Spit toothpaste on the faucet. You got it. You got it. Peanut butter on the light switch. Oh, spritz, spritz. Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good.
Okay, we're back. Use as directed.
Now, some have speculated that this could be an onset of previously undiagnosed mental illness, such as schizophrenia or another type of psychosis that was triggered by the stress of the travel and the fight and everything that was going on. Notably, I guess to go along with this, Lars was in the age range when a first outbreak of schizophrenia can occur. Like late 20s for men is the most common like time period in your life where you would start to see like signs of schizophrenia for a lot of people who have it. Now, Dr. Todd Grande, who is a mental health expert who analyzed this case, suggested that first break psychosis might explain Lars' sudden paranoia. Another angle of this theory involves the antibiotic medication he was prescribed, which is Cefprozil, and similar antibiotics in the same family of medications have, in rare cases, been known to induce psychiatric effects like hallucinations, paranoia, and delirium. It sounds unusual, but medical literature does document antibiotic-induced psychosis in some instances. So Lars even texted his mother asking about the antibiotic, possibly indicating that it was making him feel strange, because supposedly he's been taking this antibiotic, though we're not 100% sure about that. So why is he asking his mother what it is? It's weird.
So did they say that the antibiotic could have other side effects like paranoia or anything like that? Or they just were talking about how it could bring on...
Are you listening to me?
Sorry.
I'm going to back it up a sentence. The listeners right now are like, Emily, what? Cefprozil and similar antibiotics in the same family of medications have, in rare cases, been known to induce psychiatric side effects like hallucinations, paranoia, or delirium.
Oh, for some reason I heard that as like it brought on like psychiatric. I mean, I guess never mind. I don't know. I don't know what I heard.
It would trigger an existing condition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where my mind was going.
I see what you're saying. I got you. So I think, it could be either, because they're saying it happens in rare cases. So how do they know if it was just like a pre-existing condition that was unearthed by the medication, or if it was really the medication? I don't think you would really be able to know.
Okay.
I think it could be either. But really the point is, it has happened before that this medication has caused major psychiatric issues.
Okay.
But it's, again, extremely, extremely rare. Now, Dr. Kostov stated that Lars never actually filled the antibiotic prescription or took the pills, though.
Oh.
However, it sounds like, based on what he was asking his mom, like he was taking the pills. So
yeah,
I also don't understand how the doctor would know if he filled a prescription or not. I guess maybe he could have called after Lars went missing and asked. They probably would have told him. I don't know. I thought it was odd because
I'm like, oh, that makes sense then. Like it was the prescription that was making him act weird.
And when I heard, I don't know, sometimes the way people write about the story, it sounds like he was taking them. But then they're like, but he never filled it. But then some people are just like really on this theory about the medication. Like they talk about the medication so much. I'm like, well, why are we talking about it so much if he never took it? So I don't know. I think it sounds like he didn't take it to me. Yeah. But some people are like really stuck on this. And like I was reading theories on Reddit of like how he could have filled this prescription but the doctor wouldn't have known, and like how it works in this country and stuff. I think that's too much for me. It's going dive. You have to make a lot of assumptions about what went wrong there. It's possible, but I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
But again,
even if that was true, that still doesn't explain how he mysteriously vanished in the woods.
Right. It's like, well, yeah, there's a psychiatric event of some sort going on.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the theory that like maybe people really were just after him and they got him. I don't know about that.
But with no, like absolutely nothing to show.
Right.
That.
But obviously there's a psychiatric event happening here.
Yes.
Like I feel it's one or the other. There's a psychiatric event or people were really after him.
Yeah.
And so the question is, not only to me, what caused the psychiatric event? We're going to talk about theories for that, but like also then you need to explain like how he just disappeared. Like that's what's so perplexing about this case to me, because there's another theory that like maybe it was the head injury from the fight, like a really bad concussion that maybe, or like a traumatic brain injury.
Does make him like delusional.
Yeah, could have made him disoriented, paranoid. There's also, I guess you can get concussion-induced psychosis. Again, very rare and normally wouldn't develop so rapidly. It would normally be something that like develops slowly over weeks.
Yeah.
But it is possible. And proponents of the psychosis theory feel it best accounts for Lars's subjective experience of terror. Like he would truly believe that someone was after him, but that is not supported by the footage, like the CCTV footage. It just looks like he's running from something that is not there.
Yeah.
And the major challenge with the mental health breakdown explanation is, like I said, what happened to him after he ran off? Even if he had a psychotic break and ran into the woods and died there somehow, like the elements or whatever it may be, how did they just not find him?
Yeah, or any evidence of him at all.
I mean, I guess you could say like maybe he hid and then died where he hid, but like that'd have to be a good hiding spot.
Yeah,
I
right.
feel like and how well can you really hide yourself in the woods?
Yeah, and do they have like bears there?
You know what? I didn't go too far into like the animal life because it's not discussed in these theories. Like,
then maybe I feel like they would have brought it up if it
right.
was
I went deep into the
possible.
main theories, but I didn't see much about the animal life. Now, despite this whole like lack of an explanation for what happened to him after he ran away, a lot of people, including Dr. Grande, who evaluated the case, think that an internal psychological cause, whether it was just mental illness or a reaction to the drug or from a head injury, whatever it may be, most people believe that this is the most plausible theory for why he ran. Now, another theory posits that Lars's fears were not delusional, that he might have indeed been in danger from other people. Lars himself insisted to his mother that people were trying to kill him. Could it be that the same individuals involved in the bar fight or some criminal element, maybe these guys were in some sort of gang or something, truly were stalking him after the altercation and they were going to finish what they had started? It's notable that Lars was reluctant to let his friends stay with him and really insisted hard that they leave. He's like, no, like, you guys have to go. Like, I'll stay. And so some people say, well, maybe he was trying to keep them out of harm's way because he felt like he got them all into a dangerous situation. But also at the same time, when his friends left, even if the doctor's telling you you can't fly for your ear, but you think your life is in danger, why wouldn't you leave with them? I just don't think he thought his life was in danger until after his friends got on that flight.
Yeah, I don't either.
After he canceled his flight.
We will stay with you. And he was like, no, like, I'll be fine, blah, blah, blah.
I just think that even if they're like, hey, if you get on that flight before it heals, you might go deaf in one ear. Like, I don't know. If I genuinely was so terrified where I'm screaming in the doctor's office, I don't want to die here, I have to get out of here.
Yeah.
If I'm that scared for my life, like I truly believe a threat is that real, fuck my ear. I have one more. Like, I'll hear out of one ear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I would have gotten home.
So I just don't think that maybe, it's possible he was in some fear, but I just don't think he was scared for his life at the point when he decided not to go with his friends. I just think he would have just said, I'm not as worried about my ear. Like, I'm more worried about my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, some online sleuths have pointed out details like Lars leaving the hotel at 1 a.m., and they say perhaps he was meeting someone or trying to evade someone. They also note a mysterious woman seen in the CCTV footage, and some people think that this woman might have been following him. That's how I feel about that. No one knows who this woman is. She was seen outside. She's never seen in anything else.
That makes me think, like, what about her was, like, weird? Because
there weren't women with the guys. When they got into that bar fight, it was a group of guys. There weren't women with them. It's a big old stretch. You're going to pull a muscle doing this stretch, in my opinion. But, is it possible? Yeah. Is it likely? No. But again, people say it, so I'm going to bring it up to you guys. I just think that's...
Providing all of the opinions and facts.
Now, the other thing that people talk about when they're talking about, okay, maybe people really were after him, is they're like, what spooked him in the airport? Because he went to the airport, he was about to get on the plane, he was about to get out of there. What spooked him and made him run? And some people say...
It was the construction guy.
Yes. Yeah. Some people say, like Emily, like it was this construction guy. He was part of this criminal syndicate that Lars accidentally pissed off by getting in a fight with these German guys. But here's the thing is, these other guys were German. They weren't even from Bulgaria, where they were. So they're part of this criminal syndicate in Bulgaria. I mean, possibly.
But also, it sounds like there was a bunch of guys, and he was by himself because his friends didn't even know that he got into a fight.
Right. Like, he got beat up. It's not like he beat the shit out of somebody.
I can't imagine these guys still wanting to fucking, like, fuck with him after they already beat him up. Like, they left him with a busted-ass eardrum. I think they got him pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was one guy.
Yeah. And
so, I don't know. I don't think something's telling me it wasn't the guys from the bar.
Right. This reminds me of, too, I'm trying to save tangents for the end. So Emily's going to remind me at the end to tell my story, for me to tell my tangent story about when I was in Rome and I thought I pissed off the mafia. Do you remember this? I feel like I called you.
You did, and I do kind of briefly remember this.
Yeah, but it's a good one.
I need a refresher.
It's a really good true crime tangent story, but I'm going to save it for the end for the people who don't want to hear it. But yeah, remind me of that.
Okay.
But anyway, like, the whole point is they're like, maybe he pissed off these people. This construction worker knew these people and whatever. And I'm like, they're going to send a guy in a fucking construction worker costume, like, undercover to go
to the
airport when he was in this hotel room all night. And like, and they've been.
And he also left the hotel room for a full hour and then also came back and was untouched. I don't know.
And the other thing is this theory, like, that people were actually after him and they got him. That means that he ran into the woods. No one was behind him. No one's chasing him on the camera footage. So they then went in there and got him after. Like, how did they know he went in? I don't know. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. You have to, again, I always say, usually the correct answer takes the least assumptions. And you're making a lot of assumptions. All of this is a big stretch to say that, they got this construction worker and all of these things. To me, the least amount of assumptions is that this is some sort of psychotic break.
Yeah.
Whatever the cause of that was, I don't exactly know. It could be the medication. It could be the injury to the head. Could be underlying condition that just the stress of getting in a fight in a foreign country and now you're by yourself triggered it. I don't know, but to me, that's a lot less, it requires less assumptions. Now, a less common theory, but mentioned enough that I was like, I'm going to bring it up, but you can tell by my tone, I don't think this is a good theory, is that maybe Lars was involved, whether it was knowingly or unknowingly, in some sort of criminal enterprise such as drug smuggling or contraband during his trip. The theory goes that he was coerced into transporting some, like, drugs or something with traffickers. Like, he was going to basically take drugs on the plane. They say they don't know whether he knew he had the drugs in his bag or whatever. This makes no sense. There were no drugs in his bag. They had his bags. They searched his bags. There were no drugs in his bags. He was never a drug user. His family and friends said he was honest. He was straight-laced. He never did drugs. He had no money issues. He had no secret phone. Nothing that pointed to criminal dealings. And nothing pointed to him even doing drugs. So nothing definitely was pointing to him, like, selling drugs on a high level to where he's going to get, like, killed for it.
Yeah.
So again, it's brought up, but silly theory in my opinion. Next theory, starting a new life. Could Lars have intentionally vanished to start over somewhere new?
No.
Thank you.
In my humblest opinion.
Some wonder if his bizarre exit was in fact a cover to disappear on purpose.
For why?
Well, for instance, if he was unhappy or wanted to escape his life, he staged this so no one would go looking for him.
But, like, that's extreme for not...
This is, like, one of the most famous, like, unsolved disappearances. So, like, if he did go start a new life, this was, like, the worst possible fucking plan he could have ever had. There's all this security footage of you. They're even claiming, like, him, pacing in the hallways at the hotel and stuff. It was all an act of a psychiatric break that he didn't have.
Este episodio es presentado por Honda. Descubra la nueva Honda Passport Trail Sport todoterreno. La Passport más todoterreno que Honda haya imaginado jamás. Esta Passport cuenta con mayor altura al suelo, barras de techo en todas sus versiones y neumáticas especialmente diseñados para cualquier terreno. Además, disfruta todos tus viajes con el control de clima de 3 zonas, techo panorámico y opciones como asientos delanteros con calefacción y ventilación. Conoce más en honda.com/passport.
Experience a progressive lens engineered with AI from Essilor, powered by individual measurements of your visual behavior. A lens personalized to you by an Essilor expert. Discover Verilux XR Track and enjoy instantly sharp vision in motion and seamless transitions from near to far. Find your local Essilor expert today at Essilor.com.
Today, the beverage aisle looks a lot different than it used to. America's beverage companies are working together. We're delivering the options everyone wants. In fact, nearly 60% of beverages Americans buy have zero sugar. You'll find more variety than ever, including more of your favorites, now available with zero sugar. You'll also find more sizes and clear calorie information on the front of every can, bottle, and pack. We know when it comes to finding balance, the more choices, the better.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like, why would you call your mom then and say people are after you?
And also, I'm pretty sure I read that his mom was a single mom, and
it sounded like they were pretty close.
They were close.
Yeah.
He would. I just don't think he would do this to his mom.
Yeah.
And why would he do it on a trip with his buddies? And also,
like a vacation.
He was supposed to leave with his buddies. The only reason he didn't leave was because he got beat up. How would he know that he was going to get beat up? Like, what was his plan to disappear then?
How did he stage all of those dudes beating him up at the bar, you know?
Again, it's just
weird.
Like, from all accounts, there's no motive for him to want to disappear. He had a good job. He was on good terms with his family, his friends. He didn't have any major money issues or anything like that. His friends said he seemed excited to go home after the trip, and he was actively trying to get this return ticket back.
Yeah.
He went to the doctor again to get cleared. It just, again, it's one of those things people always say. Like, people say in the Brandon Swanson case when he just disappeared. And
that's the kind of vibe this is giving me. Like, very creepy, like, unexplainable disappearance.
Yes,
vibes.
it is very similar to I mean, it's not similar in the context of what happened, but like just the
way.
Absolutely, it's like they just walked off the face of the earth.
Like unexplainable.
Yeah. Now, again, people say head injury, possible concussion, all of this. There's 100 theories about, oh, he didn't sleep, and that's why. He didn't sleep because his head was hurting so bad, and that's what kept him. The main thing is, was this real? Were people really after him, or was this a mental, psychotic paranoia break? And I think it's very obvious that this was some sort of psychiatric episode.
Yeah,
like I said, I know I've said it 100 times, but I just think that there would be at least a tiny bit of evidence showing that someone was after him, if someone was actually after him. And I don't think we have a single piece of evidence to back up the fact that anyone was after him.
Other than him saying that.
And we've named 5 different theories of what could have caused the psychiatric break. Like, I just think that that's what psychotic break, I'm using those words interchangeably. I know they mean different things, my bad, but that's really what it comes down to. Is I just don't, like, people talk about this case as like it's the biggest mystery on earth. I don't think it is. Psychotic break. I don't know exactly what caused it. I've got a couple theories here, but to me, the mysterious part about this case is what happened to him.
Yeah, like, where'd he go after he went to the woods?
Okay, he runs in the woods. What? How did he?
Where'd you go after that, dude? Like,
it's the same story as Brandon Swanson. Like, where did someone in the woods, there's just like a killer in there and they're like, oh my God, this is my chance. No, I don't think so. He was a 28-year-old man and he was like fit and he looks tall in pictures. I don't know how tall he was, but like, I don't think he's your victim of choice.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, there's tons of people in that wooded area. Like, it's a hiking area. It's not where you're going to go to like hunt for victims. I almost wonder, I guess this is just my theory and I have nothing to back this up. He told his mom the night before he was going to go look for a hiding spot. He ends up getting his stuff. He goes to the airport. We don't know where he went. He left the hotel for an hour of the night. We don't know where he went, but he makes it to the airport. Something freaks him out. He climbs a barbed wire fence. He is terrified for his life. He says, I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here. I think maybe he went into the woods and he tried to hide. Mm-hmm. And wherever he hid, he died. I don't know where you could hide, though. That's the thing. It's like, I hate it, but I wonder, did he dig a hole
or
and
like
get
climb
in?
a tree
Or climb it? But if he climbed a tree and fell out, or like he would come out, people would find him in a tree.
Yeah.
Or I know there are sometimes those hollowed out trees. I know that I've heard stories of. There's one
you fall through them and you get stuck in the bottom.
There's one really famous true crime case that's who put Bella in the witch elm, and the witch elm, I guess, it's an elm tree and it's hollowed out, and they find a body unidentified that's inside of this tree. And so it's like, could he be in there? But again, it's like, when people find him, I don't know.
Yeah, how'd they find that person that was in the tree? Because like, how do you find a person?
Because it's just like noticeable when it's hollowed out, but there's an opening. She's got it in there.
I'm thinking of like that movie of the girl that falls down into the
No, I don't think
tree.
that's like real. I don't think it's usually like you can fall down into the like there's a cavern. I don't think so. I fucking hope not. That's terrifying. But like as a tree dies, I think it. Oh yeah. I don't know what causes it to be hollowed out, but I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of why they wouldn't be able to find him.
I mean, yeah, that or like maybe he was. I don't know, man. Like he didn't want to be found. Maybe like you know what I'm saying. I don't think he wanted to be found.
Exactly. He was running from people. Yeah. He didn't want to be. And that's why I'm like
he was going through something and he was thinking everybody was after him.
I don't think he's alive because this was, when you have footage like this of someone doing that and they go, like this was blasted all, and this was 2014. So it's not, I was going to say, this was everywhere. This was all over the news. People were looking for him and he's very identifiable. Like he's tall, he's handsome, he's blonde, he's, he's, it's just perplexing that no one would find him if he was just out and about. Like, I don't think that's the case. Now, like I said, I guess let me give you a little bit more info on the investigation. I know we've already gone through the theories of why he did what he did, but I also want to show why it is so crazy that they can't find him. So, like I said, they do this initial search of the area immediately after he flees the airport. They search the meadows, the forests, the rural terrain around the airport. They find no clues. Again, he has a little bit of a head start, but not a big one compared to most searches when you're searching for people. Now, there was also an ongoing investigation in Bulgaria, of course, for a while after this. And the police open a missing persons case. They alert the hospitals, the shelters, local residents were out looking for Lars. So if he had, some people say, oh, maybe he had a concussion and he forgot who he was. It's even if he's a John Doe in a hospital, the police are calling the hospitals and they're like, we're looking for this guy who had a psychotic break and they've got pictures of him. He's all over the news. Yeah. There's no way that they wouldn't know who he was. They would have found him. I truly, truly believe that. Now, on top of the Bulgarian investigation, the German police and Interpol start becoming involved in this investigation because his family reports him missing to German authorities. And they issue a missing persons alert, and they are basically getting everybody in Germany to look for him because they're like, well, maybe he got in a car and rented a car and drove.
Yeah, maybe he's back. I don't know.
But it'd be really hard to rent a car when you don't have your wallet, your ID, your passport, or your phone.
Well, that and people are already looking for him, aren't they? From Bulgaria.
Yes.
So
but that's the thing is I just don't think he could rent a car. Maybe he could hitchhike and whatever. And there are some sightings of him over the years we'll get to in just a minute here.
What?
But really, it's just from the beginning, there are no leads, not a single, nothing viable. And Lars's mother just felt like they weren't doing enough. So she hires this PI named Andreas Gutig to assist with the search after months and months of searching for him. So Andreas, he's looking for possibilities like maybe Lars lost his memory or he's living off grid. He's in the woods. He checked mental health hospitals, clinics, charities, all of these places. He was calling hospitals looking for records of patients that were admitted without ID in Bulgaria and all like neighboring countries too. He's like, well, maybe he ended up in I don't know, Albania or I don't know somewhere if my else. Geography over there is real great, but I think Albania is nearby. So nothing comes up, like absolutely nothing. He's like, well, maybe because Lars had experience like hiking and hunting and fishing and all of these things. He's like, maybe he's just living in the wilderness. But again, how would he get away that fast when everybody's searching for him? I know he had a head start, but like, in this one wooded area, it's not a huge area. Like he couldn't just be living off grid in that wooded area. He would have had to make it to a different area somehow. Yeah. So like I said, over the years, there's been numerous claims sightings of Lars. You know, people have said that they saw him hitchhiking about a year after he went missing. A truck driver in Bulgaria reported seeing a hitchhiker near Varna, and he said he resembled Lars. Police followed up. The sighting could not be confirmed, and they never found this man that they said looked like Lars. Perhaps the most notable tip came in 2016 from Brazil, which already, no. He's not in Brazil. Sorry. Like, I just...
How'd you get there, Lars?
If this was like 100 years ago, I'd be like, maybe, because you can just forge papers and stuff. But like, how is he getting to Brazil? That's the other thing, is people were saying, well, maybe he ran onto the tarmac and got into like the baggage compartment of a plane. And I'm like, no. You know what happens when you do that? You know what happens when you do that? You die in there.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they die in there.
Even if you don't have a busted eardrum.
And if not, most of them that don't die get caught when they are getting out of there. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, no. He would have been found. But basically, someone from Brazil is like, we picked up this disoriented man with no ID, and he vaguely matched Lars' description. This got like a big online following. They identify this man.
I was going to say, because he's the only unidentified man with no ID ever in the history.
Also, the best part is this guy that they identified that they thought was Lars, he's Canadian. So I'm like, I guess maybe because in Brazil, obviously, they're not native English speakers. Maybe they just can't tell the difference between the accents. But I'm like, Canadian versus German is a very different sounding speaker. I was going to say that
gap is pretty far.
There's also this picture online that like circulates where people, because there's a German truck driver in 2019 that says that he gave a hitchhiker a ride in Germany, and he's like, it was Lars. It was Lars, but he had long hair, a beard, and tired eyes. So like they take this picture of Lars and then they like on a computer
add
dude, it literally looks like a Mr. Hair. Potato Head, like they just stuck a beard on him. It's so funny. Like I just don't think that this was Lars in the first place, but also the sketch, just like the photo that they circulated is just him with a beard. Like he looks no different. It's just him with a beard, and it just made me laugh. But I don't think, I think it's very unlikely that this was him. But with no physical evidence, no body, no remains, none of his things have ever been found. No one knows what happened to Lars.
It's Lars.
Now, his mother has continuously pleaded for information, and she's even offered rewards for credible leads. There's a big community on social media that has designed and distributed wanted-style posters in multiple countries looking for Lars. And even without new evidence, this case is periodically reviewed. They're trying to use modern investigative techniques such as like facial recognition technology. Like they're like, well, maybe if we run all this technology looking for his face.
This episode is brought to you by Global X. Since 2008, Global X ETFs has been committed to empowering investors with unexplored, intelligent solutions. Global X specializes in exchange-traded funds that offer exposure to the artificial intelligence ecosystem, including themes like data centers, robotics, semiconductors, and cloud computing. To learn more about Global X's entire suite of ETFs, from covered calls, fixed income, emerging markets, and more, visit globalxetfs.com.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner, by knockout, is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
But that's not as easy as it sounds to do. That is very time consuming. It's very cost heavy. I'm sure all of those things are big constraints. And really, the challenge is that Lars left the known timeline in a very unpredictable way. He could be anywhere or nowhere. We don't know if he's alive or dead. There's no evidence to narrow it down. Like every possibility is an option.
Yeah.
Or every option is a possibility. Every single thing, as much as some of them, I'm like, no, I don't believe it. Is it possible? Yeah.
Maybe.
And obviously, this is an odd case. So this is one of those cases where if it ended up being one of those theories where I was like, I really don't think so, I would be less surprised than in a case where you have more evidence. But it's just one of the craziest mysteries of our modern day and age, because people are like, why did he flee? Why did he even start that flight? Where did he go afterwards? Is he alive? Is he dead? And while investigators haven't given up, they also acknowledge the odds of solving this case are very, very low and lower every single day. But still, with Lars' story so widely known, there is always hope that someone somewhere might recognize him, or that he might even be recovered one day, if it's his remains, unfortunately. But until then, the disappearance of Lars Mittank serves as a sobering reminder of how quickly a life can veer into mystery. He was normal up until about, I don't know, a day and a half before he went missing.
Yeah.
He was just a normal guy.
Fucking crazy.
No mental health issues, nothing to hint at why this would happen. And it highlights the importance of mental health awareness, because things like travel stress and injuries and the stress of getting in a fight in a foreign country and being alone, they can have unexpected effects on people who don't have not previously had mental health issues. And there's just, you can see in this case the difficulties that authorities face when a person essentially just like drops off the face of the earth. Like I know that's a weird term to use in this, but
because it doesn't happen very often, I feel like, and I don't know, these cases freak me out, man.
It freaks me out. It like
how do you disappear with zero trace of what anything happened to you?
So I guess I shouldn't say it happens so often, but it happens more often than you would think. Like, I can name just Maura Murray, another one. She got in a car accident. She talked to some guy. He went and called 911, and like they got there and she was just gone. But the car was there. She was gone, never found. What happened to Maura Murray?
What the fuck?
Brandon Swanson is one. Bryce Laspiza. He was same thing. He was in his car. Like, he talked to the police multiple times. He was like on the phone with his parents. This is over, I don't know, a day or two period. And then eventually no one can get a hold of him. They find his car. He's no longer in it. And they never see him and never find him again. There's so many cases like this.
Scary.
And it's, I mean, to lose a child in any violent or criminal way, or even just an accident, like a car accident or something, is absolutely horrific. But to lose in a way, like there are some times where like people are killed and there's not answers exactly on who did it or why, but like you have some sort of idea at least of what may have happened, which again, still torturous, but like this type of case where there's
to have absolutely no idea how you lost your child.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
He could be alive.
Yeah.
It's possible he's alive. I doubt it. But
I think that's what would bother me the most is that, like, if, like, not knowing if they're alive or dead.
Yes.
Like, and there's no, like, it's so up in the air that there's, like, it could be either.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy. I feel so bad for her.
I do too.
His parents.
I hope that this is solved one day.
Yeah, me too.
It's just insane.
Now here is the super long intro conversation for those of you who enjoy the chitter chatter.
They're gonna get our bloopers.
Dale would never.
Ooh, Lars. I already like the name. I think every time you say a name, I'm like, ooh, I like that name. Like, it sounds cool.
I feel like we just talk about cool names sometimes.
We do, but it's like, I just have noticed it.
Oh, wait. Since we're talking about names. Oh, wait, let's do the little intro first.
Okay.
I got a name I want to shout out.
Oh,
I like
probably
it.
a cool one.
Dude, people in the DMs just make me feel like a celebrity sometimes. Like,
dude, I love our
this
DMs.
girl was like, "Oh my god,
DMs
you
is
responded."
such a great place.
Dude,
I like want to live
DMs,
in our DMs. section.
Literally, like they make me so full of joy. Like
if you're having a bad day, go to the pod DMs.
This girl was like, "Oh my god, like thanks for responding." Blah blah. You probably get it. I'm like, we don't get that many messages. We get messages like on a daily basis from a couple, a few people, and I love it. She's like, thanks for responding. I was like, dude, literally responding and like talking to the listeners is my favorite part. And, I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, one day the goal is we're going to have like millions of listeners and it would be too much. Like you can't respond to everybody. And I'm like, makes me like happy and sad.
We're going to have a person that will be able to respond to everybody because that's going to be one of their jobs.
Yeah. This girl, she's like, if you ever need a social media bitch, call me. And I was like, hell yeah.
What's your number?
I think that was Melissa from New Zealand who said that. She's like,
New Zealand?
Yeah. And
my God.
I, again, did not ask if I could use her name, but I think Melissa is like she'll know I'm talking about her, but like,
nobody else will.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But there was also... Again, I didn't ask her if I could give her a shout out, but I'm going to do it because it's a common name. Girl named Emily.
Hey!
I don't know where she's from.
What a great name.
But she messaged, she's like, Kelsey and Emily, my name is also Emily.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey. She said, hello, hi.
Hey, hi, how are you?
Hey, hi. But she was like, we need merch with y'all saying bye.
Bye.
Which... Okay, dude, I'll get on it.
Yes,
like,
chef.
Heard. Whatever you guys want. If anyone else has fun merch ideas, let me know because
please send them.
I want to keep the designs that we have, but minimize the options for them because right now there's too many options. It overwhelms me.
Yes.
And I feel like people probably feel that way when they're looking. But I also want to I want to do like cycles of merch. So like, you got 6 months to get something from
limited time offer.
This collection before we drop a new collection.
Ooh, fun.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
But hold on. I do have some merch ideas. Okay. They're just phrases. I have no idea what the designs will look like. And it's probably going to take me 6 months to do them, but we'll see. But here's what I got so far. You let me know your thoughts, Em.
Okay.
Here I am, lighting up the room. Just on a t-shirt.
I like it with a match.
Just here I am big and then underwords
lighting up a room.
Underwords is what I said. Underneath.
Underwear?
No, I meant like afterward. I think I combined under and afterwards. But no, I meant underneath. Like here I am big and then it's like lighting up the room and whatever because the whole joke in true crime is don't light up the room. Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay. You didn't laugh that hard, so maybe we'll scratch that one. The other one I was thinking is like just a hat that just says here for the alibi.
Yeah, that one's good.
I also thought it'd be fun to make like a workout collection, like I'm thinking like a running zip up, and then on the back it just says, if I'm running, someone's chasing me. But like
dude,
it's for runners.
No, that one's my favorite because my dad used to go on work trips all the time. And he would go to these they would have nice places. And he calls me one time and he goes, yeah, I went for a run this morning. And my dad does not work out. He drinks a lot of Dr. Peppers every day. Okay.
Respect.
And I go, I'm like, why was somebody chasing you? Like, why were you running? And he just started cracking up because he's like, yeah, I don't run. That's funny.
Yeah.
So that's what I always say. I say, I don't run even if somebody is chasing me. So.
Well,
I'm the first one to go
wore,
in a
like,
zombie apocalypse.
We have a crop top it's almost like a muscle tee, like with the sleeves cut off, but it's a crop top. And then on the back, it's got the "Give Me a Reason" thing. And I wore it to a workout class the other night, where like, you know, one side of the room, everybody's on treadmills against the wall, but then everybody else is behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm a billboard for the pod right now. Like, I need more just like funny sayings, and then underneath
Have it
like
posted.
A trial by podcast. I might just make myself one custom item. Like, I have a true crime podcast called A Trial by Podcast. Please go listen to it. But yeah, I guess we should also update you. I was just telling Emily, I have set new goals in life after a few long weeks. My new goals are to retire my parents, pay off both of their houses, pay for my nephews to go to college, and what else did I have? I'm going to buy Emily a house too, and myself. Emily's not going to need it because she's part of the pod, but like, you know, I don't know.
I'm here for the ride.
I think I might buy us houses next door to each other. So I need you guys to help me make those.
Let's fucking go. Who did that? One of these celebrities did that. They literally just bought like a whole fucking community.
That's my dream, is to like live on a giant compound with like, you know, my parents each have a house.
Yeah.
Then my brother and my sister-in-law and their kids. Then me and my 57 cats.
I'll be in a subdivision of that.
Yeah. No, you're there, bro. You're there.
I'm front and center.
The whole squad's there. Like, you know the peeps.
Squad up in the compound.
Yeah, the squad up in the compound.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Not in a cult way, but like just in a fun way.
Yes, in a cult way, but like the fun kind.
Yes. And today we're going to tell you about the cult. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, you know what? Wait. Back to the like t-shirt stuff. I've been loving the phrases that start with it's a bad day to be but I need a true crime phrase. So
it's a bad day to be a
like for example, the other day
hold
I saw
on,
one
I want to say something. Send us ideas to finish this phrase,
yes,
but
please.
Be realistic.
Yes.
We're not putting out. I see some true crime stuff that it's not usually related to like a podcast or anything, but it'll be like a Jeffrey Dahmer. We're not doing that kind of.
No, we're not trying to promote
doing
a
gross
specific
merch.
person. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But like for example, like the other day I saw one that said, "Hey, what was it? No, you got me a T-shirt that said this, and then I want it as a hat because it said it's a bad day to be a glizzy."
Oh yeah.
But there's one that says it's a bad day to be a hot dog, and I go, I need that hat. So we needed a phrase for a true crime. So it's a bad day to be a. I feel like that could also be
it's a bad day to be. Yeah, this is.
It could go in a bad direction.
That's what I like. Every thought that has popped in my head. Immediate no. Immediate no. I'll need to think that one through. But if you guys have any ideas,
send them
to finish that, or you have any other ideas? Like fun merch ideas, because there's just certain stuff where it's like sometimes I think people don't just want to wear like true crime girly.
Yeah.
I mean, some people do, and like that's great too.
Yeah.
But I want to make like a mix of stuff. Like
that's not the vibe we're going for.
But yeah, so new merch ideas coming
from
not
you.
As soon as you probably as we're making it sound like, but
in the sometime future.
Right. I feel like that was a really long tangent, but I loved every second of it.
Me too. We haven't had a good tangent in a while.
What I think we should
Makes
do
me excited.
Is we cut that to the end of the episode.
Oh, we can do that. Okay.
I like that.
It's a whole 8 minutes.
Yeah. Now, if you guys love the pod, make sure you're following us wherever you're listening so you don't miss out on any future episodes.
And while you're at it, we'd be forever in your debt if you had left us a 5-star rating.
For more content from us, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Both are at A Trial by Podcast.
You can also follow us on our Facebook and join our Facebook group.
You can shop our merch by clicking the link in the show notes or visiting our website, atrialbypodcast.com.
A Trial by Podcast is a fully independent podcast. If you'd like to help support us, you can do so by donating through the link in our show notes.
The site we use for this is called Buy Me a Coffee, but don't worry, your donations will never be used for coffee or frivolous things, only for expenses related to running and growing the podcast. So thank you guys for your support.
Thank y'all. Huzzah.
Huzzah.